Okay, when you are ready, find your way to your yoga mat. We're going to start seated today, if that's okay with you. If ever you feel that my options are not right where you were expecting or needing today, you can always start in a different position. If you prefer to be laying down, no one's stopping you. Quite the opposite. If it's difficult to sit on the floor and you have some blocks, it might be nice to make yourself a little, let's call it throne today. I like to use both of my blocks sometimes just so you have like a nice seat. You can also grab a chair or maybe even have your back supported up on the wall behind you if you have something close by. But just make sure you're comfortable. And you might cross your legs here or you might kind of stagger them. Really requires some open hips here, so don't be surprised if it looks different. Everyone's different. Just go ahead and find a comfortable spot. Keep adjusting until it feels about right for you. And then we'll find Gyan or Yana Mudra today, joining the tips of the pointer fingers and the thumbs, kind of making that okay symbol sign with the hands. And then let your other fingers be more or less straight. And you can bring them down to your knees, and your choice if your palms are face up. They say that's kind of opening to the wisdom around you. And if you have your hands down, it's more of an internal gesture. So maybe kind of awakening to your own internal wisdom. So Yana is the wisdom lock, mudra, which is like an energetic lock. So with the fingers touching there makes our mudra. Just make sure that your hands are comfortable and maybe let your eyes close or just soften your gaze. And right away, if you notice that you need more adjusting with your legs or your seat or anything, go ahead, do that anytime. Just a simple seat like this is kind of one of the only, if not the only, yoga pose, the original yoga poses. This was the word asana, which means position, was also just a seat. So back in India 5,000 or so years ago, when yoga, this practice, this spiritual practice, was beginning, it was mostly to prepare the body and the mind for deep meditation, so deep that you actually reach the state of union or samadhi. So, if ever the physical movements and poses aren't feeling like the practice you're wanting today, just finding a comfortable, steady, sweet seat might be a practice you could enjoy or try. So for now, here we are, feeling the support beneath your seat and your feet and anything else that is touching the floor. Notice your spine. Try to lengthen the spine upward, sitting in not too rigid of an upright seat, but enough so the spine feels like it's stacked in place. Just noticing the back of your neck. We want to find like a halfway tuck of the chin. So we're not really tucking or looking down, but we're tucking the chin and kind of retracting it just enough so you feel a little bit of length in the back of your neck. Taking a body scan here, just noticing anything, any wisdom that your body wants to share with you, any messages, any areas that need extra care. And as you continue to scan and notice your body, let your breath be welcomed into this noticing. And let your belly be soft and loose as you inhale. And making sure to take a full exhale, just a little engagement of the abdominals at the end, so you're really kind of working to fully exhale. find some ease and flow with it, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose if that's available to you. Finding our proper oral posture with the teeth just slightly touching or parted, the lips sealed, and your tongue pressing up on the roof of your mouth. Imagining or sensing that your nostrils are widening with each breath, so it just gets easier and easier for you to breathe. And for a few more breaths, considering the Yana Mudra that our hands are in, this wisdom lock. See if it feels right to you to just kind of open up in general to the wisdom that's around you. Maybe there's some messages from your space or your pets or yourself, or if you work with ancestors or gods or goddesses, just opening up to some kind of wisdom around you if that feels right. Seeing if any messages are coming through for you or any more noticings. This is a focus practice, so keep focusing in on opening to the wisdom around you. And continue to linger here if you'd like, or start to notice if you'd like to set a dedication or intention. If so, committing that intention or dedication to heart now. And then let's take 3 clearing breaths. We'll inhale through the nose, sigh or blow out of your mouth when you're ready. 2 more like that. Go ahead now. And then go ahead and let your chin come down toward the center of your chest. Notice some opening, some stretching, some releasing through the back of your neck. Take your time here and eventually letting your right ear rock and roll over toward the right shoulder. Being mindful to soften up that left shoulder so you feel just a nice amount of stretching or loosening through the left side of your neck. And when you're ready, dipping your chin back down toward the center of the chest. And then moving that left ear toward your left shoulder. This time, relaxing that right shoulder down and away. Go ahead and rock back and forth a couple times at your own pace. Noticing the in between as well. Giving your neck some love. And though it's not great for the neck to do full circles, we can kind of draw like a 0 or a circle shape with the nose if you want to kind of like look up toward the ceiling and around. So instead of dipping your head backwards, we're just kind of drawing like a big circle with your nose in front of you. And then go ahead and switch directions. If you tend to get dizzy easily, maybe just taking smaller circles or just maybe opting out can cause a little dizziness sometimes. And then bringing your head back up to neutral. Let's take an inhale as we look to the left, so just moving the head. Exhale as you turn to look to the right. And use your eyeballs here too. We're inhaling, we're turning the head to the left, we're looking to the left. And exhale, turning the head and looking to the right. Let's do that again, inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. Breathe like normal as we come back to the center. Let's let those legs go long here. If you're sitting up on blocks, you might want to come down off of them now. It's up to you. We'll just shake those legs out nice and long. Take a little moment here with the shaking, maybe tapping the legs a little bit. Waken them up a little bit, and then we'll bend. We'll kind of open the legs out a little bit. Let's bend that right knee and place the right foot. If it touches your inner thigh, cool. If not, just wherever it lands will be fine. Let's take a twist toward the right, so toward that bent knee. The left hand can come to that right knee, and then swing that right arm back behind you and use it as a prop. So let's try to sit up nice and tall first. You might notice some stretching through that inner left thigh here. This might be where you stay. If you want to work on a little more twisting with me, let's take a breath in here. And then exhale, twisting gently toward the right, gazing over that right shoulder. Inhale, unwind just a little bit so you can take a full breath in. And then exhale, twist and gaze toward the right. One more like that. Inhale, unwind a little bit. Exhale, twist and gaze to the right. You can hold there for another breath if it feels good. And then come on back. If you can reach your big toe on that left foot, go ahead and reach down for the toe. If not, you can grab onto your shin or knee, or you can even bend your knee and grab onto that left toe, whatever feels right to you. Let's again open up toward the right. So that right arm's going to lift as we open up toward the right. And then when you're ready, let's side bend. So that right arm is reaching up and over, almost like you could reach that left foot, even if your hand and your foot are far away. We're just reaching in that direction. Try to open that right elbow and the right armpit up toward the sky a little bit here. Take a breath in, feel some opening and length between the right hip and the right armpit. Just about one more breath in and out. And then release that right hand down. So now your hands are maybe cupping that left knee, maybe your shin, or maybe you can hold on to that left foot, your choice here. And we're almost having a halfway lift effect here with our inhale. And then with your exhale, gently folding toward that left foot, that left knee. And we'll flow with it like that a couple times. With your inhale, we're kind of halfway lifting. And then exhale, folding a little bit. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hold your fold for another breath in. And another breath out. Come on back up to the center. You can plant your hands behind you if you'd like as you switch legs, just straightening that right leg out, giving it a little shake if you want, and then bending that left knee and letting that left foot come to the right thigh or wherever it lands. We'll bring the right hand to the left knee and that left hand behind you, sitting up nice and tall. So maybe you start to feel that stretch again through the inner right thigh, the inner groin a little bit here too. Some days this just feels so good, I don't even want to leave, so feel free to stay here or add on the twist with me. Let's inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, twisting and looking toward that left shoulder. Inhale, unwind just enough for a full breath in. And exhale, twisting toward the left. One more time. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist, and we'll hold this twist here for about 1 or 2 more breaths. And then coming back to center. Slide that right hand down the right leg wherever it comfortably lands or holds, maybe gripping that right big toe if you can reach. If not, maybe bending your right knee and holding on if you like. Reach and twist up with that left hand up toward the left side. Hold here for a moment, taking a breath in. And with your exhale, side bending toward that right foot, opening that left elbow and left armpit up toward the ceiling. The lower left side of the back, the QL, the quadratus lumborum. This is a great stretch for that left side of the low back. And we're breathing here for just one more round, inhaling and exhaling. And then release that left hand down, framing up on either side of that right leg, maybe grabbing behind your knee or calf, and finding that halfway lift-like positions. We're kind of puffing the chest up, and then exhale, folding toward that right foot. And you don't have to go too far, just look for a nice sweet spot sensation. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hold the fold for one more breath in. And one more breath out. Come on up to center. You can bring the hands behind you again. This time we're gonna just bend both knees and stand your feet up kind of in front of you. We're just gonna let the knees kind of windshield wiper from side to side. So let your knees kind of sway one way and then the other. One way and then the other. A couple times through. Good, good. All right. And then coming back to center, let's straighten both legs. Point your toes. You can't really see my feet right now, but just point your feet there. So you're getting kind of a shin stretch, tops of your legs. Maybe your ankles can feel a little stretch here. Hands are behind you. Let's puff the chest up and just take a little back bend. So we're just puffing the chest up, looking up, pulling the shoulder blades together behind you. A little stretch for the upper chest. See if you can breathe in such a way that your inhales help you to feel a little more opening through the heart center. One more breath in. And breath out. Tuck your chin to your chest. Come on up. And we're moving along to hands and knees next. So sweep the legs back and around. Can either be on your hands here or up on blocks with your hands. That'll take a little bit of that pressure out of your wrists if it ever feels that they need a break. Either way, fingertips will be spread out nice and wide. Our shoulders are over the wrists. Our hips are over our knees. With your inhale, start to lower your belly, lift your tailbone and your gaze. Getting a little abdominal stretch here. Cow pose. And exhale to round your spine, tuck your chin, rounding up to cat. Press the floor away here. See if you can get a little stretch going between the shoulder blades. And rinse and repeat. Inhaling, cow pose, gaze lifts. Exhale, cat, round your spine. Keep flowing now, go at your own pace. Whenever you're ready to move on, let's find our way to extended child's pose next. Our knees will go out wide toward the edges of the mat. Big toes touching behind you. Start to sink your seat toward your heels. And if your knees don't feel quite ready for it, you could come back up and then float the seat back a couple times. You can even stay with your knees less bent up here and come down to the forearms and just kind of reach your hips back. You finding your way to your most comfy version here of child's pose. Maybe sinking your head and heart toward the floor with hands reaching up toward the top of your mat. There are so many variations of this. A lot of times we teach with the hands pressing down into the mat, but you can also join your palms together, almost like you're kind of having prayer hands or pointing up toward the top of your mat. You could interlace your fingers. You could make up a different variation altogether. See what feels interesting. Soften your jaw. Feel that breath flowing steadily. One more breath in. One more breath out. You can always linger longer if you'd like, but whenever you're ready, coming up to tabletop again, let's find our way to our first downward facing dog, grabbing your blocks if you have them. Just a nice way to ease into downward dog. Fingers spread out nice and wide, gripping fingertips into the floor or blocks. Curl those toes under. Start to send the tailbone high. Find your breath first and foremost, and then maybe start to pedal your legs out, bending and straightening opposite knees. Nice steady inhales and exhales, even though it's a little harder to breathe when we're upside down. Really good for the hamstrings and the calves. We're strengthening the arms here. We are doing all kinds of stretching and strengthening. I'm sure you can feel a little of that going on. Two more breaths. One more breath. When you're ready, bend your knees, look up to your hands. With an exhale, step or walk your feet behind your blocks or hands for ragdoll. Forward fold. Letting your head and your upper body be nice and loose here. Just taking at least a micro bend of your knees or maybe getting even deeper. You might stay still or find a little bit of movement with a swaying action or maybe more pedaling of the legs. And as always, if it feels like too much downward pressure to have your head low like this, you might opt for a halfway lift position with your hands on your shins, knees, or thighs. And maybe nodding your head yes and shaking your head no. All right, if you have your blocks handy, let's bring the blocks on the highest setting so your hands are up high on the blocks. Press into your blocks so you almost come to a halfway lift, kind of straight back position. If you don't have blocks, maybe heading over towards a chair or an ottoman if you have one. Let's toe heel the feet out a little bit wider, so maybe off of the mat even. And let's bend into the right knee so we end up getting another nice little stretch happening through the inner left thigh now. So we're just bending that right knee, kind of shifting over toward pressure in that right foot. And then we're switching sides. We're straightening the right leg and then bending the left knee. Noticing that line of stretch through the inner right thigh now, inner groin. Just go ahead and do that a couple times on both sides, going back and forth. Since we started with the right knee bent, just ending with the left knee bent. And then coming back to center. Toe heel your feet back onto your mat. Bend your knees and walk your hands up your legs, coming to stand. Take your sweet time. Standing up. Once we get to a standing position, just start a good shake through your body. Good shake or a good bounce. So maybe starting with your shoulders, maybe your heels want to lift and lower. Just let this be kind of intuitive here. I'll keep suggesting different things, but follow your body's cues. You might just kind of lift and lower the shoulders here. getting, like, not stopping your body from shaking or kind of wobbling a little bit. You might kind of throw the arms. Some people like a little shake of the head. Other people find that to be uncomfortable. So see what works there as well. Could turn into a little bit of a dance. You can jump up and down a couple times or clap your hands. So many ways to shake and move. Again, this is so good for our circulation, so good for the lymphatic system. It can be really nice emotional release if you're feeling angry or stagnant or even sad. Sometimes a good shake can just kind of shake things loose, help things move. All right, when you've had enough, come on up to the top of the mat. Find a footing position that feels intentional and supportive. With an inhale, reach your arms around and up, joining your palms at the top. Exhale, hands come down to your heart center. Take just a moment to acknowledge your dedication or intention if you set one today. And with an inhale, let's reach high. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the floor or to blocks. Let's step the right foot back first and then the left to our high plank. We're pressing hands into the floor, shoulders over wrists. Nice straight line from the head down to the heels. One more breath in. And exhale, lower your knees, move those blocks to the side if you're using them, and then lower your chest down to the floor. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat so much that your knees start popping up because your glutes are working, your thighs are working. With your inhale, lift your head and chest using the strength of your core. Not so much your hands. You can even hover your hands up off of the floor. And then exhale to lower down. This can be a very small movement as long as it's intentional. Inhale, rising up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, rise up, baby cobra. Let's stay here for the exhale. One more breath in. Option to hover your hands up off of the floor now. And then exhale, lower back down. Take a breath of rest, softening your body as much as you can here. And a breath out. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Exhale to child's pose. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, rising up, tabletop. Curl your toes under and exhale to downward dog. Inhale. Activate those shoulders and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath in. Last breath out. With an inhale, bend your knees, look up to your hands. With your exhale, step just the right foot forward and give it some help here if it needs help. You also might want to have your blocks next to your hands to help you transition upwards here. If you have your blocks under your hands, we're just pressing up. With an inhale, we're going to reach the arms forward and up, coming to our high lunge. Breathe here, feeling strong. Keep breathing. Next, we're going to transition up to airplane pose. So for some people, it might work better to kind of step that left foot in a little bit first and then reach the arms back, either coming to that left tippy toe or taking flight, lifting that left foot up in the air behind you. Alternatively, you could hold on to the wall in front of you or a chair in front of you for support. Nice and strong here, airplane. With an inhale, find your way up to one-legged mountain pose, taking that left knee up with you. And then exhale, step that left foot down to the floor. We'll have another chance to do that on the other side, so give yourself some grace with whatever happened. Inhale, reach your arms around and up, joining palms overhead. Exhale, hands come down to your heart center. Check in with yourself. Check in with your breath, your intention, your body, your spirit. It's a quick check-in, just high-level information here. All that we can do in a couple of breaths. And then we'll take a clearing breath now, inhaling through your nose. Sigh to release. Inhale, reach your arms around and up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the floor or the block. Step your left foot back first and then your right to your high plank. Strong, active hands here, pressing down, shoulders active. 2 more breaths if you're with me. Inhale and exhale. 1 last breath in and breath out. Knees lower. Move those blocks to the side if you're using them, and then chest lowers. Let's do our half locust pose here. So we're straightening the arms down by our sides. Hands could be touching the floor here as we start. Same legs as baby cobra, tops of the feet pressing down a lot. Glutes activating with that downward pressure through the feet. With your inhale, lift your head and chest. Squeeze an imaginary beach ball behind your back here. So now palms are facing each other, shoulder blades hugging in. We're gazing up at the top of the mat. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Entire body working here. Inhale. And exhale, lower down, stacking your hands on top of each other or your fists on top of each other. Rest your forehead on your hands. Let your heels splay out to the sides. See how quickly you can move. You can downshift, going from that very activated position to a more soft and relaxed moment here for 2 more breaths. Choose your own adventure here. You can either stay in crocodile pose or join me for 1 more round of our half locust pose. If you want to join me with that, we'll straighten the arms back down by the sides, activate the legs by pressing the feet down. With an inhale, lift the upper body, squeeze that imaginary beach ball behind you. You might even feel your triceps working. 2 more breaths, lifting. Even if it feels like a lot of work, see if you can relax the face. Inhale. And exhale, find your way back down to crocodile pose with your forehead resting on your hands or fists. Heels splaying out to the sides. One more breath now, as soft as can be. When you're ready, plant your hands by the sides of your chest, press your way up through tabletop, and right on back to child's pose. Stretch and reach through the low back, the mid back, the shoulders, the arms. 2 breaths. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Inhale, rise up, tabletop. Curl your toes under, and exhale, finding our last downward dog of this practice. 3 breaths. We're inhaling, pressing hands into the floor, And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath in. Breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look up to your hands. With your exhale, step just your left foot forward, giving it some help if you need to. Remember, we're gonna head to our high lunge and then to airplane pose. So do what you need to do, grabbing blocks, grabbing whatever. With an inhale, sweep your arms forward and up, high lunge. Bending that left knee, breathe. Channel some kind of powerful feelings inside of you. You're feeling strong and mighty, I hope. When you're ready, do what you need to transition to airplane pose, either kind of launching forward off of that right foot or taking a couple steps forward first. Find your airplane, find some extra support if you need to. Don't be worried if you need to step down and get back up into it. Eventually use an inhale to come up to one-legged mountain pose with the right knee lifting. And then step your right foot down to the floor. Whew, a lot of work in the glutes here and the legs. Give it a little shake. And we're up at the top of the mat with an inhale, sweeping your arms around and up, taking your time. Palms join overhead, and with your exhale, hands come to heart center for another brief check-in. Notice your mind, body, and spirit. What's going on? And then let's take a clearing breath. We're inhaling through the nose. Sigh to release. When you're ready, start to transition down to the floor. We're going to come right to a seat first. So making your way. There we go. We're coming to a seat for a little moment here. So feet will be on the floor, knees bent here. You can hold on to your knees. We'll do one more balancing pose, cosmic egg. So we're gonna puff the chest up so the spine is nice and long, lengthened here. Leaning back slightly, start to pick up one foot, and then see if you can pick up that other foot, coming to a balancing point just behind the sitting bones. You can stay right here if this feels like plenty. If it doesn't feel quite like the right spot, some variations would be wiggling around a little bit and trying to stabilize yourself after a little bit of wobbling. Another option would be to let go of the hands, coming to this boat pose. You can even straighten the legs here if you really want to give yourself a good core work. You choose, just try to keep lengthening upward through the spine. We're headed to the floor next, so this could be a continued core work portion by going slowly as you come down to the floor, or even coming back up and then back down a couple of times. We're eventually ending up on the floor, and just let your entire body eventually agree to the floor. Maybe a sigh. And option to stay right here and get into your final rest a little bit early today. Or when you're ready, starting to hug your knees in toward your chest and take a little bit of free movement here, rocking some massaging pressure over your back, your low back. Maybe some circles of the knees as you find different ways to get pressure moving through the back of your body. Good, good. All right, knees will come down, or feet will come down to the floor rather. Let's start to turn over onto the right side. So we're gonna go through our Feldenkrais twists here to end. So we're almost in the fetal position, but the right hand is going to reach, or the right arm is reaching straight out to the right side here. Left hand will stack on top of your right hand on the floor. Your head can just kind of hang out, or you could grab a pillow or block under your head if you'd like. Reach those left fingertips just beyond your right fingertips so you feel some stretching and reaching through the shoulder blades. And then we're retracting, so pull that left hand over your right arm, all the way across your collarbones, and then eventually open that left arm all the way out to the side. And all the way out to the side could look like the left hand up in the air here, or maybe somewhere between there and the back of your arm touching the floor. Oh, this is one of the most heavenly poses and stretches I know of. Just feels like amazing here. So linger as long as you'd like, or continue to take this opening and closing motion, bending your left elbow, bringing your left fingertips to the left shoulder joint, and then sliding the left fingertips across your collarbones, then all the way down the right arm. And go ahead and repeat that a few times, pulling the left hand across the right arm, across the collarbones, and your version of all the way open. You could try goalpost arms if you want. You could stay here or continue to move, opening and closing. We will eventually here meet on with your arms open, so you're kind of on your back a little bit. Whenever you get there, just take about one more full round of breath. Then we'll start to switch sides. So just bringing the feet to the floor, popping the knees up here, maybe scooting over a little bit toward the right so you stay on your mat, and eventually rolling on to your left side now. This time the left arm is straight out to the left side, and that right hand comes to stack on top of the left hand. Reach those right fingertips farther away, so you're feeling that stretching happening between the shoulder blades here. And when you're ready, retract. Pull that right hand across your left arm, across your collarbones, and your version of all the way open on this side. And again, that option to do goalpost arms when you arrive, if that feels good. Just another option to try. And if you want to move with it, we'll bend the right elbow and bring the right fingertips to the right shoulder, and then slide the hand across the collarbones and all the way back down that left arm till your hands meet again. Go ahead and move and experiment now at your own pace, opening and closing, or finding somewhere to linger along the way. And when you're ready, we will meet up with the arms wide open in that open arm twist, staying there for about another breath or so. And then start to stand your feet up on the mat. Scoot your pelvis to the center of your mat. We'll take a long body stretch here, so reaching your arms and legs long and straight in opposite directions, reaching and stretching. Maybe yawning if a yawn wants to come out here. And then if there are any last poses, movements, or stretches that you are wanting to explore, now is a good time to move in those directions. And eventually, when you're ready, making your way to your final resting pose, which could be Shavasana, corpse pose with your arms and legs out long. It could be a constructive rest pose with your knees bent and your feet standing up near the edges of the mat with a little tuck of your tailbone. Knees could come together if you're taking that version. If those don't suit you, there are lots of other options. Maybe a comfortable seat, maybe legs up the wall or up on a chair. Just taking a little bit of time as you finish up any last movements and making yourself here as comfortable as possible. Taking a quick body scan here as you settle in. Make sure each part of your body feels tended to, cared for. And slowing and deepening your breath if that feels natural and welcome. I will do a little countdown from 10. And with each number, just growing more and more relaxed. Starting with 10, letting your face soften. 9, upper body heavy and soft. 8, releasing any holding through the hands. 7, torso relaxed. 6, heavy, loose through the whole torso and pelvis. 5, legs soft, relaxed. 4, feeling the back of your body. 3, letting a wave wash over you of peace and rest. 2, softer yet. 1, and 0, coming to the sweet, serene, and restful place. I will be sure to mind the time here. So all you need to worry about is being restful and soft, steady and sweet. Just in the most natural of ways, so really you don't have to worry about it. Letting your body's natural rest, digest, heal systems start to activate. Just a nice restorative break. With each breath, feeling this oxygenated state of your cells. Softening more, sweetening your experience more. soft and sweet. And know that you can stay here and continue resting as long as you want. But eventually, when it's time to move along, just start by deepening your breath. Maybe yawning or swallowing. Maybe starting to wiggle fingers and toes. Moving a little bit through ankles and wrists. Continuing to move in welcome ways. Maybe a long body stretch or another yawn. And then choosing a side and rolling over onto either side here, coming to the fetal position. Knees slightly tucked in. Maybe your bottom arm is your pillow now. Just let yourself be here in this transition for another round of breath. And then using the help and strength of your hands and arms, pressing your way up to a comfortable seat. If it feels okay, we'll have the eyes close as we join our hands in front of the heart center. And you're welcome to join me in singing or chanting our closing Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And a reminder that when we say Shanti, although it sounds kind of like a regular T, it's more of a TH, like a soft dental th. So your tongue kind of comes up behind your front teeth. And if you'd like to join me, we will take a big breath in now to prepare. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And together bringing thumbs up to third eye center. A little gesture of gratitude. If it feels right to you, we'll take a little bow forward together now. Shanti means peace. And here we are. Thank you, everyone, for prioritizing your practice, for prioritizing your well being. It is a gift not only to you, but to all the people around you. So, thank you for that. Hope to see you all again sometime soon.